This is the Vevor 8 kilowatt Bluetooth diesel heater. Now we've had this diesel heater for over a year now, and in this video we're going to do some upgrades and check over the system inside, making sure everything is tip-top for this year's camping season. If you're new here, I'm Sky with Shank Outdoors, where I go over gear that helps me to camp, fish, and get on the trail. So let's get into this week's video. Before we start upgrading this diesel heater, let's quickly go over what you get with this budget 8 kilowatt diesel heater. Right off the bat, with this Bluetooth diesel heater, you get a wireless remote. I have it clipped to the cable of the actual control box, as I actually haven't used it. As the unit is Bluetooth, I haven't required to use the remote. But it is nice to have if you're not going to have your mobile device with you to adjust the heat and fan level to your comfort in a rooftop tent, trailer, or even van. You also get your exhaust tubing and muffler. Now, a lot of people, when they install, they use the muffler clamp and they install it right away. I have found that these are tight enough that you don't need to use the exhaust clamp. You can just pop it in so that it's easy to be able to mobilize from your place to your campsite and not have the diesel exhaust attached at all times. Same thing with the muffler. I have not had any issues with just attaching it. Now, a lot of people say that these make them a lot quieter. I have actually not noticed a difference, so I actually don't even take this with me. I just use the exhaust tube, and then we actually have our heating tube with the adjustable vent, so you can point the heat towards you when you go. Now, these aren't very long, but this is what it comes with. It is a more rigid tubing, so I actually have a soft tube that I have already mounted with the trailer, and then I take that and put it with the rooftop tent. So you can easily attach these on to the diesel heater. Again, this one's more rigid, so it's a little harder sometimes to get on. And then you'd be able to put on your vent. Now, the nice thing with this tube, you can see it's a little beat up. It's because I actually do use it. With this being so tight to get on, I don't even, again, use a clamp. I pop it on. I then use my soft, expandable, I think it's 8 feet, might even be 6 feet, heat tubing to go over top of this. This way that when I actually attach the 3-inch soft tubing, if I was attached to here, it is easily kinkable. Whereas this one, because it's so rigid, it gives the airflow a nice 45 or higher degree to kick out, and it's not clogging the diesel heater. I have not had a diesel heater running this way overheat because the tubing is too tight at the beginning of the diesel heater going up to your tent or your trailer. At the back, we do have the fresh air intake with filter. Now, it's not really a filter, but that's what they call it. And then you have your power cable. I upgraded the power cable so that it's a quick connect to either a 12-volt cigarette lighter or the 2-prong for attaching directly to a battery. Here's a prime example of the 12-volt quick connect, just being able to pop it in, and now I can plug it into my power bank or the other unit. My other diesel heater unit is actually currently using the other attachment to be bolted on to a battery. So with today, we are actually going to install a 4-inch fresh air intake for the diesel heater so that it can circulate the air through our trailer or tent. So this way I can have the 4-inch tubing, which is still in its packaging, and I have that going into the trailer or, again, rooftop tent, and then with the rigid and 3-inch tubing, actually it might even be a 4-inch, the heat going into the tent or trailer. I'm going to quickly unscrew all these screws so that we can easily take off the cover and access the diesel heater, the fuel pump, and start attaching our 4-inch adapter. Now that we have the fuel cap and all the bolts off, we should be able to easily remove, get that totally out of our way, and we start taking a look at the diesel heater itself. Now, as you can see, the fuel pump actually has a proper fuel line that is going from the tank to the fuel pump, but then they installed just the clear fuel line from the pump to the diesel heater itself. Now, yes, these allow you to see the air bubbles if you're having fuel issues of the priming the pump and getting it to the diesel heater. But really, are you taking this off every time to deal with that? No. You're going to prime your pump for a good 10 seconds or 5 to 10 pumps and then kick on your diesel heater if you're really having startup issues. I'm not sure if I have enough fuel line to actually go from the fuel pump to the diesel heater in this unit. I may have to go a different route than what they have going over top. So it turns out I used the fuel line that I thought I had on something else, so I will not be replacing the clear tube today. So I'm going to have to get the proper tubing and upgrade the diesel heater. But otherwise, inspecting it, again, I haven't noticed any leaks, but we'll inspect it anyways. So there is no sign of previous leaks. Our other diesel heater did not come with a rubber housing over the fuel pump to help with the ticking or the knocking noise, especially with the vibration against metal on metal or metal on plastic, as this is supposed to help with the sound dampening of the fuel pump itself. You can upgrade your fuel pump to a lot quieter decibel fuel pump now for around $30-40 Canadian. For my US friends, I'll put that on the screen. As this unit is outside and away from where I'm sleeping, I don't actually hear the ticking of the fuel pump as I would if it was installed into the trailer. So we're not upgrading the fuel pump at this time, but it is an option. Otherwise, looking over the unit itself, nothing is concerning. There's no melted wires, there's no previous leaks. The other thing I'll probably do is actually add this mounted to the side here. As I have not done that, I've just let it dangle because it wasn't actually affecting anything being on a table / tire wheel well that this was sitting on. So, but I think this time I'll actually attach it so it's not dragging and hitting the ground. All right, we got our rivets that we're going to use. We got our drill. Now we got to line up. I think I'm going to tape it so it holds it better. My white marker died, so we're going to tape this up into place so that we can drill our holes. Making sure that these aren't going to affect any spots. We should be good. Now I did get 2 of these. The reason for the second one is especially for the trailer. So in the windows of the trailer, I cut out this foam pad and it actually sticks nicely in the window. It helps insulate the window so that the heat doesn't escape while holding on the hose to the window. So with the second one, I'll do the same thing. I'll put it through. Now, as you can see, it's a little wider of the actual window, so I'm going to have to trim it down, but same concept. The foam pad will be pushed into the window, and then the tubing will be connected so that it can run to the diesel heater. Now, so that we can make sure it all stays lined up, we're going to stick these all in their holes. It is fully attached, and we'll be able to put on our new hose over top and run to the trailer. Now that we have the V4 diesel heater put back together, let's recap my suggestions on what you should upgrade on a budget diesel heater. Now, this is not my first diesel heater. I have one set up in this actually house that I use as my studio. It's a 1905 house. So the other half is where the diesel heater is. With your diesel heater, I would recommend upgrading the clear rubber fuel line to a fully automotive fuel line. Again, I'm impressed that they did it from the fuel tank to the pump, but I would do it the rest of the way from the fuel pump to the diesel heater itself. The next upgrade I would do is keep your original 3-inch heater duct, and then I would attach a 4-inch over top so that you have a nice, again, angle. And then now with the 4-inch going to your tent, you have that volume so that you're not back pressuring. Now, again, I've been using 3-inch. I have not had that issue, but across the web of multiple users using diesel heater, they recommend upgrading to a 4-inch. Third upgrade would be putting on an intake port so that you can run a tube from your tent or your trailer to allow circulation of the diesel heater. The fourth would be adding on a quick connect to your diesel heater so that you can either use a 12-volt cigarette plug or you can attach it to a battery with just a quick connect so that you're not only having one power source. Some of the newer diesel heaters now have it where it's just a plug and play at the back of the diesel heater, and you actually have a 110-volt converter so you can plug it into a wall at your house, or if your trailer has 110, if you're wired into a campground. Otherwise, again, quick connect, cigarette lighter, or connect it directly to your 12-volt battery. There is a fifth upgrade that people have been doing as the V4 diesel heater. A lot of these diesel heaters have a small tank. If you are looking to go for a long duration and you want to upgrade to a 10 or 20, you can actually connect a fuel line to a jerry can and have it connect through there so that you can go multiple days pending the temperature outside and how hard your diesel heater is working. I know heating this house with the diesel heater that I have, 20 liters will go at minus 20 to minus 30 outside, will last us anywhere from 4 days to a week. This diesel heater has a lot better fuel economy than the diesel heater that's set up in this house. So I could see this one going a lot longer if I was to do external. But again, this one is for camping. I have no problem taking a jerry can with me and topping it up as I'm using this at night instead of a full day or multiple days in a row. This is just heating the area where I am sleeping or hanging out if it was really that bad of weather. For example, would be ice fishing. In our ice fishing tent, this is where it would be running all day. This 5-liter tank lasted anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. So don't have to do an external on this one. That is it for this week's video. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.